Okay, what's going on, guys? Back here with another video, and today we are going to actually be doing a little bit of a podcast. We're going to start this off. It's going to be the first episode. I'm joined with my buddy here. Say something.
Hey, this is Tyler. I'm Riley's buddy.
Okay, he's my buddy.
Now I'm
Okay,
excited.
so
Yeah.
how's it going to work? Well, for the first couple episodes, anyways, until we figure out what's going on, is we're going to have a couple uh, topics written down. He is going to not hear any of this until I say them. So we're going to have a couple DC and a couple Marvel, and we're just going to talk about them. It's going to be a little bit of a podcast. It'll get better. It'll get worse, maybe. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're going to start out with DC because this is the order I read them, and this is the read them. This is the order I wrote them, and we are going to start with number one, which is who was the better Batman, Christian Bale or Ben Affleck,
Who was the better Batman?
and
Now
why?
that's a good topic to start out with right there. Ben Affleck. He's the new recent Batman. He's the one that is in Batman vs Superman. He was just introduced in the new Batman vs Superman movie that has now been released on DVD Blu-ray here recently. He has done a very good job with being Batman. Honestly though, I didn't like the lack of backstory. I did not like that well, which Christian Bale's Batman made up for. It made up for all the background, especially with like his history with the League of Assassins in the first movie. Now, I like that. Christian Bale, honestly, I feel like he deserved the part in the movie
Which
because
he
of the
was
three
offered.
movies that he had been. Yeah, he was offered and he rejected, which to me, honestly, that is not cool. Like, if I was offered the role of Batman in a movie that was the beginning of a whole like series of movies that are going to be released soon, I
Yeah.
would take that offer straight away.
Because
Like
you
that
could
is a once
say
in a lifetime
that
offer.
the basis of the DC cinematic universe was built around Batman Begins and The Dark Knight Rises. But I like Christian Bale better. I just think he fits the role. I think DC does a bad job of making their characters kind of look more comic booky with how bulky their arms are. And I'm gonna put a picture on the screen. Of course, showing that one picture I showed you of how big his tricep
Superman's
was,
arm
and that's
was way too
Photoshop. There's no
large.
way, because I mean, you see pictures of him in real life, and he's still buff, but he's not like bodybuilder. I mean, he still looks like a normal dude. But I don't know. You
Yeah,
think of, I don't.
he's a big guy, but the way that they can like computer analyze and just like graphically enhance his like whole muscular structure is just a little bit too much. Like Superman is supposed to be super strong. I understand this, but he wasn't such a chiseled figure in the comics. Like in the comics, he was not as chiseled as they're trying to make him out to be in the new movies.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, see if you look like whenever you watch kind of Marvels, like Captain America, he's kind of like the peak, but he doesn't look like outrageously steroided up or like computer enhanced or whatever. He still looks like that's him, and that's all the muscle that he's put on for the character.
Yeah, Chris
So,
Evans is a big guy. Like he works for his muscle, and they don't like go through and enhance his muscular structure as much as anything they do in DC. Another thing with DC that I'm kind of going on here. Okay, we're on the topic of which is the better Batman, but
yeah,
also a
we can
topic that I
tangent
don't know if
out.
you're gonna
It's not a
bring up.
problem. We can tangent.
All right,
It's
I'm wondering if and or when they're going to introduce a Green Lantern because
they do have
as we
a movie
know,
planned in 2020 or something about the entire Green
do
Lantern
they?
Corps. They do. I'm gonna put
I
up
did
a
not know
picture of
that.
like the schedule for DC movies. They have like three untitled ones, which a lot of people think are the Batman trilogy, because Ben Affleck's gonna be directing, starring in them, producing. He's gonna do everything with them, and he's a pretty good producer. So I would say that they'll probably be a success for the most part.
Oh yeah.
So there is a Green Lantern movie planned.
I would like to see. I know that they're going with the whole Justice League things, but Batfleck needs his own movie. Okay, we need to get introduced to Alfred. We need to get introduced to the Wayne Manor. We need to get introduced to his personal villains. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the villains that Batman is known for fighting.
The
Like
one,
people like
yeah.
Scarecrow, the Riddler, people like that.
Well, I
Suicide
don't
Squad
even.
is coming out.
He'll be in
And
Suicide Squad, but not much.
yes, I've seen the previews for the movie, and I've seen him in them, but it's not going to be like based around Batman, which is a movie that we need. We don't need it, but it's a movie that a lot of fans most likely want
They
because
could
we need to like get more so behind this new Batman.
they could always push stuff out of the way. Like for Marvel, they push back the Black Panther movie. They push back all their movies to put Spider-Man in 2017. So we could see
Oh
them
yeah.
push back. They can do anything they want. They're two of the most profitable, biggest companies in the world. So do you
Oh
think
yeah.
we? So
And then Sony
you,
owning Spider-Man
yeah.
just in there with them.
So
Like
you like Ben Affleck, and I like Christian Bale.
I
Which
like Christian Bale's movies and I love his like Batman. But if Ben Affleck would have played the same role Christian Bale did in those movies, I feel like he might have been the better Batman because I
but
liked the outfit, I
Ben
liked the
Affleck
new
kills
fighting
people.
style.
He kills people.
That is true. I
He
did
shoots
not like that
people.
in the movies. That is one thing that I did not like in the movies. Batman never kills people. And how they introduced him killing people in the movie and branding people with his little bat symbol, like Batman never no. Batman breaks bones. He puts people unconscious and gives them mild concussions, but he doesn't kill people. That is just something Batman does not do. And then I understand Batman becoming hurt and then like it was a tragedy. His whole like corporation falling to the hand of well, not to the hand of Superman, but because of the fight Superman was having with General Zod at the time. I understand this. But Batman, the Batman that I know from the comics, and the Batman that most people know would never turn to killing. It's just something that Batman doesn't do. It's his code. Like, no killing. You don't do that.
I'd say, I don't know if the solo Batman films will go back and like tell which Robin got killed or whatnot, but I'd say that one of them probably will, and that's when he turned to killing people. But the
Well, the
Robin suit looked
Robin that got
BA. Like,
killed, wasn't it Jason Todd? He didn't die.
well, I don't know. I mean, the one thing I look at the Robin suit in Batman v Superman, I'm just like, how come he doesn't have any legs? Like they went really comic booky, cause like the upper body is like so like it looks so badass, and he's got like the kind of like those things on his forearms to like hit people and whatnot. He's got the big old spear, but then he doesn't have like anything to put on his legs, which I think looks more clowny. Looks like the
Yeah.
one that's like yellow and red, 1960 something. I don't know. You ready for the next topic?
Sure, hit me with it.
Okay. Opinions on the Justice League teaser trailer, which just came out like probably like 2 hours ago since when we watched it on
The
Instagram.
one that introduced Batman talking to the Flash and things like
Yeah,
that.
and Cyborg and
I
Wonder
did
Woman and all
not
that.
like the Flash's little jitters. Like, I understand that his mind moves at like a super fast pace, like even faster than a computer's pace, like any computer. Like his mind moves just as fast as he runs, like super fast. But they've almost got like shaking. He's thinking so fast, and he keeps looking around the room like like looking into his own thoughts. I don't really like that. He's got too much of a nervous jitter for me. Like, I don't know if that's going to be how it is through the whole movie. So I'm not going to be that quick to judge. But honestly, if that is how he's going to be throughout the whole movie, I'm not sure if I like the Flash. And don't get me started on his costume. He looks like the freaking Red Power Ranger off the new
something
Power Ranger movies that's coming out.
something that I didn't understand is it showed you like the slow motion scene, which everybody was kind of expecting because they did that with like the Flash TV show and all that. But something that didn't
Oh
make
yeah,
sense
they
to
also
me
did that with
is you're
Quicksilver
talking
in the
about
X-Men
a
movies.
dude that goes through time. Like he runs fast enough to travel through time. So the Batarang wouldn't be moving that fast. If he runs fast enough to go through time and go through different dimensions, he would literally like see the Batarang turning at like a centimeter every like minute. You know what I'm saying? Like he
He would have
wasn't
been able to stop that battering before it
before he
came
even
out of
threw it.
Batfleck's hand.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like
he
if
would have
he's that fast, he would have been able to. But
easily.
I mean, that's just something little. And I saw. I don't like like the cyborg suit is really like comic realistic, but I just never liked cyborg, and I don't know.
Something that I fear for the new Flash in the X-Men Apocalypse movie that just came out not too long ago, just pretty recently. Quicksilver, they had a lot of slow motion speed scenes for him. And that is exactly what I was reminded of. It made Quicksilver really cool. Like I loved how Quicksilver was. Like in the comics he was never that popular
Yeah,
for
because
me.
he's funny in
So,
the like the slow motion scenes. Like he'll like
oh, he's
take a
yeah, he's
bite. Yeah,
hilarious. Like grabbing the pug up and like running it through the hallways while its big old cheeks are flapping. Like that was hilarious. Like I was rolling the whole time. Like I was just dying. And it was a good scene. Like I liked how they implemented his speed, especially whenever he fought. Well, by the way, spoilers all throughout this video before we even go on.
yeah. I'll put a spoiler
But
alert in the beginning because
all right. But how they just like implemented his slow motion and how he fought Apocalypse, just bouncing him around, and then Apocalypse, of course, finally stopping him,
wait,
which
was
I
it a
really didn't
root
see
that
him
came
going.
out of the ground, or was it like a piece of
It was
metal?
the ground. It was the
Okay.
ground. Like Apocalypse controlled the earth and like grabbed his foot and then started breaking him and like breaking his bones and stuff and hurt him pretty bad. But if they make the Flash like they did Quicksilver, like if they implement that slow motion, almost like a time stopping cutscene, like in the movie, a lot of people are going to be butthurt about that and try to say they're copying how Marvel did with Quicksilver. And I do see where they're coming from with that. But also, how else are people supposed to implement how fast they are actually going? Like, do we want to see just a blur and be confused, or do we want to see the slow motion and see how it occurs and how he's seeing things while he's moving? Honestly, I'm for the second option. I wouldn't mind the slow motion. I'm not going to call them a mimic of Marvel. I'm not going to call them anything like that. If they want to do them, they want to do the thing with the Flash that makes the slow motion scenes like the one that you've seen in the preview with the Batarang possible in the movie. I'm pretty fine with that. As long as he doesn't have like a nervous twitch and starts moving his eyes around the room and thinking the whole time, I'll be cool with
Was
the Flash.
is
Well,
the
and
dude that
Sue
plays the
at the same
Flash?
time.
Is he the dude that played was on like Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
I am not sure.
I think it's him. I don't know if it is or not. It looks like him. I don't know. Next topic. We'll go to the next
You
one.
mean Roderick?
Yeah, Roderick. Like it looks like
Oh
him.
man,
It
it
might
does
be
look like
him.
Roderick. That would be hilarious.
Okay. The next topic. This is gonna be one. Should the
All right.
TV universe and film universe cross over? Which I think we already have the answer, but because of the Flash. But you know, like
Oh, okay.
should should Stephen Amell's Arrow be in the Justice League? That's the main thing.
Yes. Stephen Amell as Green Arrow all the way. I do
Well,
not care.
the
I know he's Casey Jones in the new Ninja Turtles movies, but he can give that career up, go right into acting for the cinematic universe. I'd be happy.
problem, the only problem is if they do put him in as Arrow, he would have to basically restart his entire story arc they because if they put him in as the Green Arrow from the movies, and they'll be like, "Hey, what the heck's up with this Flash?" Or they could do something where it's like a Flash from a different universe. That could work. But I don't
Or
think they
they
would do
could
that.
just do something to where it's like,
Like kill
oh
Ezra Miller
wait,
and put Grant Gustin in.
Christian Bale's not Batman anymore. Oh
I
my
don't know.
gosh, he could
I
be
think
the other
I think
Flash.
Grant Gustin kind of got
Mm,
screwed out of the. I think it's because the people upstairs in DC. I don't think they like TV actors, which is what
yeah.
Grant
Even
Gustin
though
and
loads of
Stephen
people
Amell is.
do, people love these actors. Like I love the actors myself.
And they've made them
Like,
so much money. Like they've made so much money from the CW and the
mhm.
characters, you know. And they and Deathstroke. I don't know if he might be in the Suicide Squad as a cameo or something. That's why he hasn't been in
That would
Arrow.
be cool if Manu Bennett was actually in there as a cameo. I think that's how you pronounce his name, right?
I think it
Manu
is
Bennett,
Manu.
I think
And
maybe.
then I
Yeah,
know
it's
it's
like
Manu
Mano
or
or
something.
Manu. I'm not
Yeah.
completely sure how to pronounce his name, but I love Deathstroke myself personally, just because of the history he has with Batman and everything. I love Deathstroke. Dude, I have a lanyard that I carry my keys on daily that is literally just like Deathstroke comic scenes, and I have a little Deathstroke emblem. Like, I'm a Deathstroke fanboy. I'm not even gonna hate on myself for admitting that, but yeah.
Okay.
But
We're gonna.
I like season 2 of Arrow. Like,
It
it
was my
was
favorite season.
favorite season, yes. I agree with you fully on that. But with the whole topic of Stephen Amell being in the cinematic universe, like the DC cinematic universe, definitely he needs to be the Green Arrow for
Like they
me
don't
to
even
enjoy.
they don't even have to like keep the backstory. Like they can completely reboot the character and keep the actor for that matter. But I think a
Yeah,
lot
I
like
don't mind. Like him as like the Green Arrow, Stephen Amell fits the part for me. I
yeah.
just don't know why. It's just how he is. Like it might be because I've been used to him for what the past 4, almost 5 years now. Like I'm used to him being the Green Arrow. Like I was never that big of a fan of Green Arrow. Like I was a like I knew his history. I knew about his history on the island. I like how in the comics though they didn't implement like how on the TV show with like all the different what's the activities and stuff with the military or whatever, the different terrorist activities on the island. That never really happened in the comics. It was just him on an island for 5 years getting very good with bow accuracy. But I liked that. I enjoyed it. I really did.
Well,
Even though they're slowly moving into
I
a
didn't even know
weird.
he was a superhero. I was only kind of like Marvel. But whenever the first season came out, I saw like the very first teaser, and the only thing it was like him like doing the salmon ladder, and like the picture was him shirtless
Oh
with
my
a
god.
quiver on his back, and I was like, oh, this dude might be a badass. So then like I started watching it, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And then I figured out he's a superhero like within like a couple episodes because you told me, and I was like,
Hmm.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you introduced me to the show because I didn't even know the show existed. And here goes Riley. Riley's like, comes up to me. Hey, Tyler, have you ever heard of the TV show Arrow? It just came out. I looked into it, started watching it, realized it was the Green Arrow from DC. Riley didn't know this. I told him about that, and that was where the road hit us from there. Like, I've been I
Arrow
watch it
train.
every Wednesday. Every Wednesday. The Arrow
Okay,
train. I
so
watch
we're gonna move
Flash every
on to
Tuesday, Arrow
Marvel
every Wednesday.
because I don't want this to be like 45 minutes long. Okay, so we're moving on to the
We could
Marvel
do two
now.
separate podcasts if you'd like.
We could, but we're gonna keep it as one episode. This is gonna be the
All
freaking
right.
pilot. It's gonna be called pilot. It's not gonna be called pilot. But Marvel. First
Mm-hmm.
question. Marvel on Netflix
All
is
right.
in like the Defenders, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Luke Cage. Like, what do you think about those?
I personally haven't got into any of those yet. I haven't watched any of them yet. I just haven't really found the time to. But from you, I'm hearing they're really good. Like I've heard from you like multiple
Haven't.
times, Tyler. You need to watch Daredevil. It's really good.
Yeah. It's
Like
good. The dude that plays it, Charlie Cox, does the character justice. I feel he's really good at like whenever they don't have like whenever he doesn't have his glasses on, he like focuses out because his eye like he really looks blind. It's amazing. But I think
mhm.
that I think like if the defenders do good, because like Iron Fist and Luke Cage hasn't came out yet. They have teased like they have the trailers for Iron Fist and Luke Cage. And I've never watched Jessica Jones, whatever. But I think if the defenders does good, they will be put in Infinity War. I think if they don't do good, they're not going to be in there
Mm.
because I would like to
Yeah, that
see
does make
because
sense.
they're in the same universe because we've seen it because like the reason that like Tony
In
Stark
the
doesn't
Agents of
come.
Shield and things, yeah.
Yeah, and the reasons we don't see like like Tony Stark come and talk to Daredevil is because Daredevil just beats up street thugs really, But
That
I
and
feel
Robert Downey Jr. is like the highest paid actor in the world, and they're not just going to hire him for a TV show.
yeah,
It's going to cost way
but
too
I
much for them to
feel if the
fill in this
Defenders
inside.
does well, they will put because they said that there's going to be over 60 notable comic book characters in Avengers Infinity War, and that's a lot of people. And five or four of them could be the Defenders. And I mean, they don't have to be fighting Thanos, but I mean, they could be like for crowd control or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
like they don't have to like base the movie around
it's
these
like
characters
Black
because we've
Widow.
got
Like
the
she doesn't
TV
have any
shows for this.
superpowers, but she's there.
what I would say if they were in Infinity War, the way that they could do this, they could put Daredevil and people from the Netflix series into the movie, make them look like they're total BA, just really awesome,
Yeah, and
getting
draw
people
people to
like going,
Netflix.
draw people to watching their show. That will be, that is what they should do. They shouldn't like involve them so much as to where it was almost like Batman versus Superman, where Batman was a complete main character even though we had no backstory on him. Make him just like make people want to go watch your shows on Netflix and this movie. That's
Like
what they
that's
should do.
like
That is good marketing.
it is, and I mean that's like see like in Captain America: Civil War, like Black Panther, he was introduced, but he never really lost a fight. All he did was kick butt, but he never won or lost a fight technically. But see, Iron Man, notably, he lost a fight, but nobody cares because he's Iron Man, and Captain America's a dick, but nobody cares because he's Captain America. But when you introduce a character like Black Panther, if you don't make him seem like a total BA, then they're not gonna. Because he has a solo movie coming up, I think in
Yeah,
2018,
he's got.
right
I
before
like
Infinity
Black
War.
Panther's character. He's like the Batman of Marvel for me personally. Like he's got a lot of the same like. How do you explain? Not.
Traits.
I'm trying to find the words. He's got a lot of the same like fighting styles. He's got a lot of the same costume ideas. Honestly, like he's got the pointy ears, the black suit going. Yeah, but I liked how they put him in Civil War. He was a good character. They implemented him very well. And I am hyped for the movie that's coming out soon. I can't wait to watch that. Like I will actually go and watch that. Like if they would have shown that movie first, it would have been like Ant-Man to me. I wasn't really interested in Ant-Man even though you told me about it and said it was
But
really
they
good. I like
they made the
Ant-Man's
character
character.
badass. Like that's like
Mhm.
be like Ant Man.
I
What are
watched
they
the
gonna do to
movie.
Ant Man?
I finally watched the movie because you kept telling me how good it was before Civil War came out. And that the movie, the Ant-Man movie was very good. I liked the Ant-Man movie a lot. Like, I don't know about you guys, but the Ant-Man movie was a pretty good movie to me.
It's really good at like comic relief and stuff. Like,
Oh yeah, I loved how what's his name? That little, well, keep the racism aside here. Uh the guy kept like narrating his little stories here and there throughout the movie. I loved that. They need to do that more with like in any Ant-Man movies coming out, like the new one that's coming out soon. What's the name of that one? The
Ant Man
one
and
that
the Wasp.
introduces Wasp's character and stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's just called Ant Man and the Wasp.
Is it really?
Yeah,
But if they have him narrating a few of their stories in that, it's gonna be good. That should be Ant Man's movie, like the Ant Man movies thing. Like I like that personally, but I wasn't really interested in the movie until I watched it, and I loved it, and it got me that much more excited for seeing Ant Man and Civil War. Which when I seen Ant Man and Civil War, as soon as he turned Giant Man and started doing that little laugh of his, I was dying. And then it is hilarious. Like I thought it was great how they introduced Giant Man in there. Like how he just had the idea, oh, I'm gonna try this. It worked just like in the comics how he becomes Giant Man and stuff. I really enjoyed that. I thought it fit in the movie perfectly.
I thought he's really good and he provided that little bit of laughter. Like like it's like Pirates of the Caribbean. I just brought this up because I watched
Hmm.
all four of them in the last couple of weeks. But you know, it can be serious, but then again, it gets like really funny and the comic
Yeah, there's
relief
always
sets in
that sense
and
of comic relief in the
yeah.
middle of it. And it's always to do with the character that is just like overall pretty hilarious. Like he's got a good sense of humor. I like Ant-Man. Like I was kind of a little upset finding out that they weren't having Hank Pym as the Ant-Man, but when I watched the movie and I seen how Hank Pym needed somebody for the suit and things like that and how Hank Pym was implemented into it in a way, I enjoyed that, even though that I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now, but he's implemented as the Ant Man now. In the comics, it was Hank Pym, but I'm fine with it honestly. For the cinematic universe, it's pretty good. It's fitting well together. Marvel is doing their work. Like they are doing pretty good work with what they're doing. I'm liking it.
Okay, we're gonna jump on this next one, which I don't know how long it's gonna take. We talk about the
All
new
right.
Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man. Tom Holland Spider-Man,
Oh man,
the worst
Tom
Spider-Man to
Holland.
date, whatever you'd like to call it.
honestly, he is, well, out of the three Spider-Men that are like the like more recent Spider-Men, like
Not the one
Tom
from
Holland has to be
1970.
the bottom for me. Yeah, he's got to be. Yeah, we're not including. Yeah, we're not including that one.
I'm gonna put a picture up. It's so
Um,
weird. Like he's got like sunglass eye, like tanning like glass eyes, and he's to shoot his web. He like puts his arm like straight out, like he's shaking a hand. It's weird.
well, other than him, he's probably the new Spider. Tom Holland Spider-Man is at the bottom of my list. Okay, a lot of people hate on Tobey Maguire.
I
He's
think
top my list.
I think
I love
people are
his story.
praising Tom Holland Spider-Man just because they're like piggybacking and fanboying on the fact that he's with Marvel now. Like everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's so good." But if you watch it, he wasn't the best actor. His suit is
Yeah, he
so
wasn't very
animated it
funny.
wasn't even funny. And the
Yeah,
people
I'm
that
not
think
liking how animated the stuff is
there
in the
might have been
movies.
total of like 2 minutes where the suit was actually him. But the problem with eyes like that move all the time is the face is always animated, and then I don't know, the material kind of like swells up and stuff. The people like the
Hmm.
cosplay suits they make of it are better than the one that he wears on set of Spider-Man: Homecoming. It's sad, but that's just me. And
Yeah,
his I don't know.
I
Like I
don't
don't,
like his costume. I didn't like it as well,
and I think
honestly.
like I don't know. I
The
think the
costumes
audio
that
they
I
put
like,
in. Go ahead.
oh, his audio for like,
Like
I
it was
okay, I love how
overlaid
they
too much. Like
implemented.
you could tell it was kind of like beefed up, and it wasn't him talking. Like whenever like Iron
Yeah,
Man or Captain America or like Ant Man talk, it sounded like he was, but it just sounded like Tom Holland was talking into a microphone in the studio, and they were just throwing it over. That's
I
just
don't know how I don't like Tom Holland's voice for Spider-Man that well. Like I remember whenever you and I first watched the trailer that introduced Spider-Man that he was going to be in the movie, little hey everyone he does in the
he
movie,
sounded like a
like
girl.
in the preview. Like I didn't like his voice for it. Like personally, I like see Andrew Garfield had a nice voice for Spider-Man. Personally, I thought, and then Tobey Maguire's voice for Spider-Man. I don't know why, but it fit the part. I don't know, just for me, it might be because I'm a '90s baby. It might be because I grew up and that was the Spider-Man for me. But even yet today, I can go back. I still like those Spider-Man movies better. I still
Well,
like Tobey Maguire's character.
Well, I mean,
I s-
Spider-Man 2
like
was regarded as probably one of the best Spider-Man movies ever. Now, like the fanboys are gonna say Spider-Man: Homecoming will be, but it's just because I don't know, Marvel's backing them.
yeah.
That's just
See, oh, something else. I know this is bringing us back to DC, but William Defoe, like Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin from the first Spider-Man movie, he was a great Green Goblin. I loved his Green Goblin, but if he were into DC right now, have you guys seen his Joker? He looks the part for the Joker.
I'll put the
Like Riley,
pictures
you
up
should
there.
pull up a picture. Like,
I will put them up
yeah,
there.
it he fits the part as the
He
Joker.
looks like the one
But
from the Arkham games.
the Arkham series,
Yeah.
yes, I like the Arkham series. Personally, I really love the Arkham series. I've played all of them.
Back
I've
Spider-Man.
played
Back Spider-Man. Back Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Spider-Man:
Oh, we can
Homecoming.
go back on Spider-Man.
Back
Yeah, we're
Spider-Man.
going back on Spider-Man Homecoming.
Piece of
Homecoming now.
shit, Spider-Man.
I get caught off because I'm a Batman fanboy personally, but I'm a Spider-Man fanboy. Spider-Man Homecoming, I don't know what it's going to be about really. It's about what is it about, Riley? Because I haven't really looked into it.
Uh, they've actually leaked the entire script, which I've saw some of. It's against Vulture,
Really?
but the entire storyline has
Oh
been
man.
leaked out, and I think a lot of people that want to know about the movie have already seen the entire script, but I don't know. It is the
So it's
Vulture
the
though.
Vulture is the main
It's the
villain.
Vulture, yeah.
The Vulture being the main villain is going to be kind of weird for me because I was never really a big fan of the Vulture. Like, mm, if they would have introed a different, they honestly, I know that they don't want to intro the Green Goblin and being the villain again, but if they would have done that, honestly, I probably would have enjoyed it more. Like, I like the Green Goblin. That's one of
I
Spider-Man's
think,
like most iconic villains that he always
well,
fights with. The
I
Green Goblin.
honestly think that they're afraid to bring a character that's been done in the past, just because if it's not like if they brought in like Sandman or something, nothing's gonna beat the Sandman Spider-Man 3 in my opinion. I thought the dude that played it fit the role perfectly. He looked like him. They can't bring in the Green Goblin because we have the Green Goblin because we've had two in the past to compare him to. They just don't want to get compared to one of the old Spider-Man movies. I think, which I mean, that's okay because I mean, if they come out with a character that, like, say they bring out Venom or something crazy like in the first one. I personally enjoyed the Venom in Spider-Man 3. I know a lot of people didn't. I liked it, but they
I
don't want
liked
to
it.
they don't want to get compared to the older Spider-Man movies. I think they just want to leave those behind.
See, and yeah, that was true because I remember a lot of people. I heard a lot of people comparing the Harry Osborn Green Goblin from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 to the Harry Osborn Green Goblin in Spider-Man 3. Like, and to me, the Harry Osborn Green Goblin from Spider-Man 3 definitely blew the other Green Goblin out of the water. I did not like his teeth. I didn't like his little ears that he had going on. They didn't implement that Green Goblin very well. And then it just, I don't know, I just didn't like the character. It did
Like,
not fit very well
it
in the
makes no
movie. Like,
sense.
he
It's
just
like,
came in at the end
yeah,
and killed Gwen. Literally, like, it just, boom, happened.
and like,
Done.
and he didn't even like Spider-Man didn't like take him to the police or anything. He just like he got knocked out because he got hit in the head by like one of those clock parts, and he just was laying there. Like, did he die? Like, did he like get hit in the head so hard he
Yeah, we
died, or did
don't know what
he just
happened to him.
get back on his glider and fly away? I mean, in the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, you know what happened to him, and it wasn't the best.
Oh, yeah.
You know what happened.
Yeah, he died.
So
See,
we
James
are.
Franco playing that part too. I like him as Harry Osborn. I don't know. Again, this is coming from a '90s kid. I know, but Maguire's Spider-Man. I don't think Homecoming is going to be all that great. I'm going to watch it, of course. I'm probably going to go to the theaters to see it, but I haven't even looked into it. Like you guys just heard me. I didn't. Whenever I was talking to Riley, I was completely. I did not know anything about it. It's a
Well,
vulture. Why?
it's a Marvel deal, so I'd say no matter what, he's got three movies plus all the cameos in the other ones. So I'd say you're gonna
Maybe.
be stuck with
Well,
him for.
if he's
And
that.
he's only like 17 in real life or 18 in real life, so there's a good chance you're gonna be stuck with him for the rest of your life.
Hopefully
Spider-Man.
he's a smart kid and he sticks with it, and they don't go like Amazing Spider-Man 2 path, two movies done. Like
Here,
I
okay.
that made me
Here's
upset.
something that is not on the thing, but I'm curious. In after Infinity War, what are they gonna do? Because they canceled the Inhumans movie, or else they pushed it back way too far. Like, after like all these characters are aged out and they fight the biggest and baddest villains, are they just gonna reboot the universe? Or are they gonna try to carry it on using like different villains? Because it's at the point now where realistically the comic books are kind of going after the movies. Like, the movies have kind of taken main stage from the comic books. So, like, you
That
know
is
what I'm saying?
true.
Like, are they, like, after Infinity War, maybe a couple more movies left in the MCU, a couple more characters, but, for the most part, Chris Evans can't stay in, like, perfect shape forever. Robert Downey Jr. said he's almost sick of the character. Like, they got Black Panther and stuff, but without Captain America and Iron Man, Thor, I mean,
See,
eventually
I
he's gonna
don't
age
know.
out of it. Like, when
The
we're,
actor for Wolverine stays in pretty good shape, and he's pretty old.
well, I mean,
What
yeah, but I mean, it's the
he's a
part,
pretty
like, it's
old
like the
guy.
Christian Bale,
He's
like, they just don't want to do it
ripped.
anymore.
That is true.
I don't know. Well, we're
Hmm.
gonna move on to this final topic because it's
All right.
kind of pushed in. So
Video's probably
there's
getting kind
two.
of long.
There is, well, it's only it's not too long. It's not too bad. Okay, so this is the final one. It is. It's kind of like I just kind of wrote this down. It doesn't have like a sentence. It's just like Hugh Jackman retiring the role of Wolverine and Robert Downey Jr. retiring the
Mm.
role of Iron Man or Tony
See, I
Stark.
didn't even know you were gonna bring up that
So
topic, and I pulled
yeah,
Wolverine up
that's why I
too.
kind of stopped what I
Ironic.
was saying because like I didn't know if we just keep going because Wolverine's been there since 2000, like what 2002, like 19 something, like not 1999,
Oh,
like
Wolverine's
early
awesome.
2000s, and he's been there forever. And Hugh Jackman said this Wolverine 3's it. Like, are they just
See,
gonna
I
like
don't
change
see
characters
how
and
that
try to
could be the case.
pull out Mark Ruffalo Hawk and keep like the timeline the same and just change
Pull a Mark
characters?
Ruffalo Hawk.
And
if they did that, that'd probably upset a lot of hardcore fans. I know it upset me. It upset me pretty bad. See, but thing is here, and I'm going back on the new X-Men movie where I was talking about Quicksilver earlier, the same one, the Apocalypse movie. Wolverine was in that movie. It was introed to where he just got his adamantium put into his bones, like over his bones, and he was in the whole bionic like suit thing, the training outfit, right? He was just escaping. Like, I don't understand if they put that in there and he plans for this to be his last movie. Maybe I don't know if they're just like secretly planning this. Maybe there's an X-Men before this last movie that's going to
Well,
introduce Wolverine in it
well,
and things like that.
what if, let's say Wolverine 3, you know, he, because I guess they're probably gonna try to like explain like where he actually came from and his origins and his family and all that. Let's say he goes there, find his family, goes to the new X-23 because they said they want the new Wolverine. Oh, not they said, but from what I hear, the new Wolverine, they're gonna maybe try to get like the girl version with like the two claws and one claw on her foot to be like the main Wolverine for the X-Men. So maybe Hugh Jackman, dies. Maybe they kill him somehow in Wolverine 3 at the end, and
Somehow.
his X-23 or the other person takes over the mantle of Wolverine. Because I don't think Wolverine is like a guy. It's just kind of like the mantle, like Captain
Well,
America in the
X-23
comic
is
books.
actually supposedly Wolverine's daughter, which is like a female clone of him. Like, I don't know if you knew this, but it's almost like they tried to clone Wolverine, but it turned to be a female. And see, I don't know how they're gonna do. See, I'm not real big into the comics of Wolverine, but I knew that much. I knew that Wolverine's daughter was X-23. I knew that much. I'm pretty sure I can't really remember because I wasn't that big of a fan of the X-Men movies. I didn't really watch all of them like throughout, but I'm pretty sure they implemented her character into one of them before. Like I'm pretty sure I've seen this character in a different movie before.
I think they
I just can't
did
recall
have
which
her in there.
movie.
I think they did.
Like,
I'm
I don't
guaranteeing.
know.
I've heard something about it. Okay,
I
so
swear that I've seen it, but I can't remember exactly. I'm not an X-Men pro. I'm
we're
not
gonna
pro
we're
with
gonna
any
move
of
on to
this
this
at
Robert
all.
Downey Jr. retiring Iron Man because I know for my
Oh
mom,
man.
the only reason she watches comic book movies is because she loves Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. And I'd say a lot of
He
people,
is Robert Downey Jr. to me is Tony Stark.
yeah,
Like
he is Iron
to
Man.
change the actor like of Iron Man for me is gonna be very very hard for that. Like I don't know, it's gonna be a big change if they like with him wanting to retire because of him apparently getting like bored with the character starting to become old to him. Like that is his
Well,
right, but also
a-
us as fans, we love him as Tony Stark. He fits that. Like, mm.
after Iron Man 3, he said the Iron Man movies are done, and then guess I don't know. This wasn't too long ago. It was probably like a month or 2 months ago. He said that he could do. I think he was on Ellen. He said he could do one more Iron Man movie, which he's definitely going to be in Infinity War. So there's definitely two movies because part one and part two. Well, they're renaming it now. It's not Infinity War Part One, Part Two. It's going to be two separate titles. But there's definitely he's going to be in those two. And then I'd say if he wanted a fourth Iron Man movie, he's going to get the fourth Iron Man movie. That would make him money. That would
He
you know,
would if he
he would get the
wanted any
movie.
Iron Man movie and they were offering him the role. Honestly, I don't care how much money he has. He should take those roles. Like that right there makes history. Like him being Iron, like almost like to kids all around, to me even. Like if I seen him in public, I would feel like Iron Man actually existed. I'd be like, oh my god, look, it's Tony Stark. Like
Well,
that's how I would feel.
it turned his life around. He went from, I'm not sure exactly. I think he was into the drugs maybe a little bit, and he was kind of going downhill. But that made
Dude, he
him.
black faced in Tropic Thunder. He was not that great.
it
Like
it turned
it
him
turned his whole
into
acting career
the
around,
richest
is what
or
it
the
did.
most paid actor in Hollywood. That character, and I mean, I guess do it till you
That
age out. But
is an achievement.
I'd say if he wants an Iron Man movie, They would move any movie around except Spider-Man and then Thor because I think they're almost done. They're done filming for
Thor
Thor.
Ragnarok.
But I'd say
That's
any
a
other
little
movie
bit
they
more
would move. They
killing
would
for.
push it back. Actually, they might not push back Black Panther. I don't know. It depends on the plot because like there might be a movie that they could, and then it depends on because they're gonna kill somebody off in Infinity War. And it just depends who is the
Oh yeah,
biggest what character can they kill off and then keep the MCU
Chris
intact.
Evans. They're gonna kill Chris Evans. They're gonna make Bucky Captain America.
See, I was thinking they'd kill Ant-Man. That's what I was thinking. In
Kill Ant.
Infinity
Oh
War
my
Part
God.
1, I feel like they would kill Ant. Actually, I don't know if the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie is before or after. If it's before Infinity War, then I think I'd be right. But if it's after, then
No,
obviously
I
I'm wrong.
think it's after. I honestly think it's because they're gonna be in two parts, Riley.
It
You
might
know
it
this,
might
right?
be.
So Ant Man might not even be in the first part, actually.
Well, somebody's gonna have to die for them to
Yeah.
go and fight Thanos. And I was just figuring Ant-Man, like just coming to my head because he's that one character. He wasn't signed on for 3 films. He was actually only signed on for Ant-Man at first, but then everybody liked Ant-Man, so they signed on the second. Like everybody now is signed on for like 3 movies. Like that's kind of like the standard deal. Like the Captain America, the Iron Man. You know, they kind of got the three.
Contract, basically.
Yeah, yeah, and I think everybody's. I think for the most people, for most part, most people have like 7 movies they can like be in as their contract, and I don't know. They're gonna kill off somebody. It's not gonna. I don't think it'll be. It's definitely not Iron Man. I don't think it'll be Captain America. Not Black Panther. Actually, it might be Black Panther because the solo movie's coming up right before it.
I highly doubt it'll be Black Panther
It's
because
not
in the
gonna be.
comics,
It's
Black
not gonna be
Panther
a
lives
woman.
in Wakanda by himself. Like he lives, okay?
It won't
Iron
be.
Man with Downey Jr.'s character, Iron Man's always been the Avenger that's like he's got the wits. He can survive. He can survive anything. I don't think they'd kill it. If they kill off Robert Downey Jr.'s character just because of how he's complaining about how he's not enjoying the role, and they pull a big no-no in the comic books, like with like all the comic fans out there, by killing off Iron Man like that, oh man, there is gonna be like total shock, and I don't know. Actually, that could be pretty cool.
He
That would
might.
be
They might just
interesting.
kill him off at the end of the second Infinity War. Thanos could probably kill him. That's what I'd say. Maybe
Oh, Thanos can kill Iron Man. Thanos can kill them all. Like
they're
Thanos is powerful.
they're
The only
not gonna
person
kill
Thanos
off.
tries not to fight, even though he can hurt him really bad, he tries to avoid the Hulk a lot. That is what happens. But in this new Infinity War movie, Thanos doesn't know the Hulk yet. I don't think he's gonna try to avoid him.
Well, I'd say Thor Ragnarok's gonna have something to do heavily with like the whole setting up
Mm,
Infinity War, because
that would
from
be
all like
nice to see.
because all like the gems on his gauntlet, there are two. I think there's still two, which haven't. And we're kind of left out Doctor Strange.
Doctor
Him,
Strange. Oh my
Scarlet
gosh.
Witch, Thor. They're all gonna be. They're not gonna kill any of them off because Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch are with the magic. Thor's essentially probably at that time gonna be the god. If not, he's still gonna be a demigod, but he might be like, a god at that point. I don't know. That's why I was thinking, in my opinion, it just makes most sense to be Ant-Man. He can shrink and he can grow, but when you can control reality and time, that's not a big deal. He doesn't have any
See,
weapons
what you
on
were
his suit.
saying
His
with
suit's made out
Doctor
of leather.
Strange. Well, Doctor Strange, man, like the actor for him, like that I've seen so far, looks very, very, very good. Like I don't know why, like
Benedict
it just looks
Cumberbatch,
like the actor
or
fits it.
Benedict, whatever his
Yes,
name
he
is.
looks like he fits it. Like I'm pretty excited for that. I almost let that movie slip my mind for like the
Doctor,
Marvel
yeah, it's
Cinematic
it's
Universe,
it's a
but I'm pretty
sleeper
excited for
movie.
that.
Because I think it comes
Mhm.
out. It comes out this year, doesn't it? At the end of this year, August or October, something.
Yeah, I think it does. Like later, either like early winter or late fall, like somewhere in that
And
area.
I think because I know he definitely has one of the gems that has something to do with like the Infinity Gauntlet. But I
Oh, of
think
course.
he's it's a sleeper movie. Not many people are talking about it, and he's arguably again one of the
Speaking
more
of movies to
powerful
do with
people.
the crystals for the Infinity Gauntlet, the Guardians of
Guardians
the
too.
Galaxy 2 has
Yeah,
been announced, and that I loved Guardians of the Galaxy. That was one of those movies that I didn't really think about watching that much, but when I did watch it, oh my gosh, I named my dog Groot. Like literally, we got a beagle pup that my stepdad had found, and we gave it a new home. And I was the one asked to name it, and I named him Groot because I don't know, it might have just been because I got through watching Guardians of the Galaxy, but that movie has to be in like my top 10, like probably up there, well, top 5 actually, like up in that list. I can't name my number one. My number one movie, I don't know what it would be. Probably be something to do with Iron Man, just because he started a lot of it, and I loved his character. But
Well, with that being said,
honestly, I'm excited
we're
for
gonna end
that.
it. We're gonna end it. We're gonna end it. We gonna end it.
All
So,
right, we're
guys,
gonna end it right there.
if you like the video, you can like it. If you don't like it, you can not do anything. And if you have any suggestions for the next one, because we're gonna do another one, which just leave it in the comment section below. And if you like the channel, you can subscribe. We can try to do like one a week at least.
Yeah, we could probably fit in one a week, and maybe one
I'd
every
say,
2 weeks if the schedule gets a little
yeah,
bit behind with my working and you working.
more or less. We'll let you guys know. And thanks for watching.
See you next time.